So let's take it slow, but I just can't let this thing go. Like a kid in the candy store, I'm back for the taste, but when the going's rough, I'm gone without a trace. It's the way I feel, it's the way I feel. You make me feel how I feel. 'Cause here I am, so far from home, standing in my own bare bones. Try to find the words to, try to find the words. I feel so grown. It's like I know, grown up. Try to find the words for you come home. Standing in my own bare bones. Try to find the words. I feel so grown. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Oh oh. Da 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 da. Da da da. It's like I know, grown up. Standing in my own bare bones. Trying to find the words to make you my own.
That was Bare Bones. I recently wrote it about 7 hours ago, and I'm trying to start writing again, so that was an interesting experience performing it that raw and open. It's about feeling comfortable with yourself once you've reached a certain age, and how it pans out. It's interesting because the future is something so abstract for everyone, and as time keeps passing by, I'm just growing into my own self and becoming older, becoming a woman, and I've never felt this grown in my life, this so grown up, and seeing the responsibilities that lie ahead. The way I would write as a 14-year-old is very different from being a 21-year-old and writing. I used to lock myself in my room, I wouldn't come out, it just pages and pages until I just got it right, and then I could leave my room. Was when it was done. New York City is the best place to write music. It is a melting pot full of artists of every kind, and I've realized that. But after living in New York City for almost 3 years now, it takes a toll on your body and your mind, and of course there are so many opportunities to play in all these different venues and all these different open mics, but first you have to start writing before you go rushing after them. New York City is a bustling and moving constantly, and it's a city full of dreamers, but it's also extremely achievement oriented. And sometimes you think that songwriting, it's not worth your time. You could be doing something much more productive because you got to get to the top. I should be doing music videos. I should be fixing my website. I should be taking more photos, and I'll write another song later. But why are you self-promoting and trying to get yourself out there if you have no material to go off of? It's interesting when I think about something I want to write about, when I want to write about something that's going on in the world, a tragedy or a social movement, I have to just sit and stare at the paper for a very long time. And it makes sense. It's almost like writing one of my poli-sci papers. But something that, because that song initially starts with something I want to get through to the audience. What comes so much more naturally is what's just on my mind and something I need to get off my chest and how I'm simply feeling. Because without that initial stage, then you have nothing to go off of. That's what I believe. And I've come to realize that. I didn't just wake up and think about that and, oh, I'm not doing anything because I'm not performing. But it's not that because you're on stage and you're booking gigs, that doesn't mean anything if you don't sit down and write what you're feeling. I'm used to very polished songs after being in a band for 11 months. You know when your part is, you know when you're supposed to harmonize, you know when you're on the mic, you know when you're off the mic. But this experiment with this internship, this almost, you could say, songwriting experiment, makes you realize how raw it is at first. And those songs that I performed, they're extremely raw, and I know they're not ready to perform, but it feels really good to still be able to play them, and I know that they'll be done when I just play them enough times. And if I change them, I change them. If I don't, I just go with it to see what sounds best. I would like them to take away and appreciate music in its raw form. Though today everything is so edited, it doesn't even sound like the same person when they're live. And not only appreciate, but obviously I want them to enjoy it. And I can't say what feelings they would have exactly, and I don't want to pinpoint that because it's something that's, for your own decision, and the way that you feel is something I can't control, obviously. But I want them to see passion within the music and to see that it's something straight from the heart to the paper. And I hope that it also changes them in some way. I couldn't say what, but just in some way. And that's what music is for, is to change your state of mind.
Pick me up and take me down that road to all the places that you said I'll never go. The county line, it looks so bright to me, just make it through the night. But a girl like me don't know the difference between wrong and right. Between wrong and right. But I got these old feet to keep me right on beat, and these old 6 strings out of tune but still complete. I'm 2 miles from your place, but I don't think there's a southern state that could be far enough away, away, away. Far enough away, away, away. I cut my hair, danced in place, gave you enough of your space, but your head told your heart to let me go. I got my own feet to keep me right on beat, and it's all 6 strings out of tune but still complete. I'm 2 miles from your place, but I don't think there's a southern state that could be far enough away, away, away. Far enough away, 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 away. I walk in conflicting ways, I made my own maze till you stopped playing my foolish games. But I got my 2 wrong feet to keep me right on beat, and these old 6 strings out of tune but still complete. I'm 2 miles from your place, but I don't think there's a southern state that could keep me away.
That second song was as well recently written. last night, and it currently does not have a new title at all. But I really wanted to write a song that was a little more upbeat and country, which I've never done. So it was a big experiment for me. Especially that last one. I think I was trying to go off of, and not just make people feel, but I want people to take away from that song, no matter where life takes you and all the changes that arise and how many different episodes you can go through within only 1 week or 10 weeks, you still have your own, you still have your own 2 feet. You still have yourself to get you through, and just don't overthink things, because you're still breathing.